Awards will be given to 9 SMEs across various sizes of business with one overall winner. Employees who have actively championed digital adoption and applied innovative thinking will also have a chance to shine. Share your success story now and inspire others to take the digital lead. Submission ends on 15 February 2019. Visit uobgroup.com/SME Lead for more information. Brought to you by UOB and USME.
It's midnight here in Singapore. I'm Henry Yin. News now. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un expresses his commitment to denuclearization, but warns will change course if the US continues its sanctions. Police are conducting a terrorist investigation after the stabbings of 3 people at a railway station in Manchester, England. Rescuers are searching for survivors after a landslide triggered by heavy rain left at least 15 people dead and dozens missing in western Indonesia. First up this hour, South Korea has welcomed a renewed commitment from the North on complete denuclearization. Seoul was reacting to the New Year's Day speech made by North Korean leader Kim Jong-un.
앞으로도 정부는 우리 국민들과 함께 남북 간 화해 협력을 진전시켜 남북 관계를 되돌릴 수 없는 단계로 발전시켜 나가면서 국제사회와도 긴밀하게 협력하여 한반도의 완전한 비핵화와 공고한 평화 체제 구축을 위해 최선을 다할 것입니다.
While this appears to show improving ties between the two Koreas, progress on denuclearization talks between the North and the US have stalled. At last year's summit here in Singapore, Mr. Kim and US President Donald Trump signed a pledge on the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, but the two sides have been at odds over what exactly that means. Mr. Kim now warns that he may consider a change of approach if Washington maintains its sanctions on Pyongyang. Our senior correspondent Lee Myung-sok has more from Seoul.
With his sister following behind him, North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un walked down the stairs and entered what seemed like a library, where there were portraits of his father Kim Jong-un and grandfather Kim Il-sung, the founder of North Korea. And seated in an armchair and not standing behind a podium like he did in the past, he started off his speech talking about economic development of North Korea. That took up about half of his speech, and then he went to talk about inter-Korean ties, saying they have reached a completely new phase. He said the two Koreas should continue this path, calling on South Korea to also continue halting military drills with the United States.
북한함이 휴가 번외의 길로 나가기로 확약한 이상 조선반도 정책 인자의 공항으로 되고 있는 외세와의 합동군사 연습을 더 이상 허용하지 말아야 하며 외부로부터의 전략 자산을 비롯한 전쟁 장비 발휘도 완전히 중지되어야 한다는 것이 우리의 주장입니다.
He said he is willing to resume operations at the jointly run Daesung Industrial Complex, which was shut down in 2016, and also resume tours at North Korea's Mount Kumgang, as those tours were halted in 2008 when a South Korean tourist was shot to death by a North Korean guard. But both those businesses will not be able to be resumed unless international sanctions are eased on North Korea, something the United States has said would not happen until denuclearization is carried out by Pyongyang. So this could be a message to the US and South Korea that North Korea wants those international sanctions to be lifted as soon as possible. He also touched on ties with the United States in his New Year's speech, saying that there would be faster progress on denuclearization if the United States takes corresponding measures, and that he was ready to meet with US President Donald Trump for their second summit at any time to produce an outcome welcomed by the international community. But he also warned that North Korea would take another path if it needed to.
다만 미국이 세계 앞에서 하는
At a British railway station on New Year's Eve is now being treated as a terrorist investigation. The city's top officer says counter-terrorism officials have the suspect in custody and are searching an address where he recently lived.
We are treating this as a terrorist investigation, which is being led by counter-terrorism officers with support from Greater Manchester Police. They were working throughout the night to piece together the details of what happened and to identify the man who was arrested. This detailed work will continue, and we're currently searching an address in the Cheetham Hill area of Manchester, which is believed where the man had most recently been living.
The attack took place at a Manchester Victoria railway station at around 8:50 p.m. local time. 3 people were wounded. 2 of them, members of the public, sustained serious but not life-threatening just after midnight local time in the popular tourist area of Harajuku.
A vehicle ploughed into crowds celebrating New Year's Day in Tokyo. At least 8 people were injured, 1 seriously. The attack happening in the city's famous fashion district on one of the most well-known streets, Harajuku, a popular tourist area. The driver fled from the scene and assaulted a passerby before being detained. About 20 litres of kerosene were found in the car. Local media said the suspect had initially described the incident as an act of terror, but later said the attack was in retaliation for capital punishment. The attack happened shortly after locals rang in the new year. The street was especially busy at the time and had been closed to traffic. Large numbers of pedestrians have been making their way to a shrine for New Year's prayers.
A landslide in Indonesia has killed at least 15 people. Rescuers are searching for survivors as dozens more are still missing. The landslide occurred just before sunset on Monday in the Sukabumi Regency, about 100 kilometers south of will resume Wednesday morning. Landslides are common in Indonesia, which is prone to natural disasters and torrential downpours. Still to come on News Now. Singapore raises concerns with Malaysia after Putrajaya says it will establish a restricted area over Pasir Gudang. It comes as both sides prepare to meet over ongoing maritime and aviation disputes.
Kickstart the new year with the pursuit of... Join 8 adorable kids as they embark on big adventures. Old enough on the Red Dot, Sundays on Channel NEWSASIA.
On First Look Asia Wednesday, Certis is an advanced integrated security services provider with revenue hitting over $1 billion Singapore dollars. We'll speak to their president and group CEO, Paul Chong, on Coffee with the Boss. Plus your early dose of world news and business, all on First Look Asia Wednesday.
In a world of choices, there's now a new destination to discover the world around you on what's real and authentic, what's trending and what you need to know, from the people who are making a difference to the issues that should matter to you, right from the movers and shakers at the center of it all.
Says it has raised concerns with Malaysia after Malaysian authorities said they would establish a permanent restricted area over Pasir Gudang for military purposes. They had, on the 25th of December, informed the aviation community of the restricted area in a notice to airmen. And in response to media queries, Singapore's Transport Ministry said such a move would have an adverse impact on civil aviation. It said the restricted area would be within a controlled and congested airspace, which would impact existing and normal operations of aircraft that fly through it. Next Tuesday in Singapore, amid ongoing maritime and airspace disputes between the countries. Singapore's Foreign Affairs Ministry said this today in a statement, adding that there are also plans for both sides' transport ministers to meet soon. It said that Deputy Prime Minister Teo Chee Hean and Finance Minister Heng Swee Keat had visited Putrajaya on Monday to convey a message to Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad on behalf of Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong. The statement came in response to media queries on when the bilateral meetings would take place. Last month, Transport Minister Koh Boon Wan confirmed that both sides will meet in the second week of January to discuss the maritime dispute sparked by Malaysia's decision to extend its Johor BARHU port limits and the intrusion of Malaysian government vessels in Singapore waters. Singapore and Malaysia also have a separate dispute over airspace arrangements in southern Johor. In Hong Kong, thousands took to the streets on New Year's Day to demonstrate against what they said was Beijing's political repression in the past year. The protest march is an annual fixture in the city, and demonstrators usually demand the government to withdraw. How Hong Kong's pro-democracy activists will continue to fight for Myanmar's leadership. International pressure was unrelenting on Aung San Suu Kyi and her government.
The Rakhine crisis that saw more than 700,000 Rohingyas flee to Bangladesh following brutal counterinsurgency military operations threw a negative spotlight on Myanmar. Allegations of rape and extrajudicial killings of Rohingyas have
the political and economic lives of the Myanmar as a nation, and so like for example, like the EU is considering sanctions on Myanmar. We have just been engaged to the international community like 3 or 4 years ago, and so then now this door is shutting again.
Myanmar's economy is also starting to feel like it's been shut out. In 2015, it achieved a 7% growth rate, but slumped to 5.9% in 2020. Compromised just as the administration hits the halfway mark of its 5-year term.
In the past 3 years, our country's been negatively famous on the international stage, and there are a lot of human rights violations ongoing, stalled peace process. So in terms of achievement to measure economically or politically or in terms of peace process, we seem not achieving anything. We've been expecting so much on one leader, but when this leader could not fulfill all the expectations, it's like everything's breaked down.
Some say not everything is broken. Myanmar is reducing corruption among civil servants. Transportation and infrastructure are being improved in various cities across the country. But observers say they need to see more. For the sake of this nation, many express hope that the government has learned lessons from its time in office to be able to come up with new strategies and policies and to inject new blood